Why NBA loses money from WNBA, National Basketball Association for Women. Sometimes being able to rather than being wanting to is much more important. The tickets are very inexpensive, but even at low prices, we're not selling enough tickets to run a viable business. At the end of the day, the consumer always wins, and right now we don't have a winning consumer proposition, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver for Bleacher Report. Issues with the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, appear to be banging on the door even though the season has not yet started. Breanna Stewart, the 2018 WNBA regular season and finals most valuable player, injured her right Achilles tendon while playing for Dynamo Kursk against Ekaterinburg in the EuroLeague on April 14. She was forced to leave the field. Stewart will presumably miss the upcoming WNBA season and, at best, won't return to the floor for a year due to the severity of her injuries. If we take into account Stewart's status, her injury might be considered a calamity for the league. In fact, it would be similar to missing Stephen Curry or James Harden for a full NBA season. For people who are unfamiliar with the WNBA, scary viewpoint, yes. On a side issue, Stewart's injury may be a major indicator of how poorly the WNBA is protecting the health and safety of its players. Basketball is incredibly unstable, as is professional athletics in general. Millionaire earners are by no means the bulk of people. Similar to this, having a large contract does not guarantee that one is safe from accidents, which could end one's career early. But it's important to note that, generally speaking, women in the sports industry have worse working conditions and treatment than men. WNBA players frequently don't have time to take a break after 5 months of competition each year. The explanation is straightforward. Unlike their male colleagues, footballers do not make enough money to spend their off-seasons relaxing and spending time with their families. As a result, the majority of them choose to pursue their talents elsewhere, frequently in Europe or Asia, where they can earn up to 10 to 15 times the WNBA's maximum salary. Because of it, some athletes may even consider taking a break during the off-season. The WNBA's all-time leading scorer Diana Taurasi received her full WNBA pay from her Russian club in 2015 in exchange for sitting out the campaign. In exchange, WNBA players frequently accept having to spend a lot of time away from their homes and families. The vast majority of WNBA players are forced to live this lifestyle in order to support their families. The good news is that WNBA players may notice an improvement in their working conditions in the coming months. The WNBA Player Association, which represents the interests of all WNBA players, decided at the end of October 2018 to terminate its existing collective bargaining agreement, CBA, with the WNBA. We're opting out because women's basketball has limitless potential. Nneka Ogwumike, the current WNBA Player Association, wrote in an essay posted on the Players Tribune. There's still a ton of work to be done, therefore we're opting out. We're placing our trust in ourselves to pull it off. Contrary to popular belief, the focus of these upcoming negotiations won't just be on the issue of pay. Non-pay issues, including the promotion of celebrities, scheduling slack, and bettering player travel circumstances, will undoubtedly come up. However, the compensation will undoubtedly be the main subject of discussion when it comes to the new collective bargaining agreement. The WNBA is then preparing to experience a small upheaval within its very own structures at the start of its 23rd seasons. For this occasion, I believe it is crucial to reiterate the reasons why WNBA players get paid less than their NBA counterparts. 1. The business of the WNBA players' salaries. First, it could be crucial to keep in mind how WNBA players are compensated. Unlike in Europe, where players are often paid by their own clubs, WNBA players and NBA players both receive their salaries straight from the league. The average WNBA wage last year seemed to be closer to $75,000 annually. A player with a significant amount of league experience might earn up to $113.05 per year. It is important to remember that the maximum veteran wage grows by around $2.05 annually. As an illustration, Breanna Stewart had a base wage of about $56 during her MVP season, which was also her third in the league. $50 for men and $20 for women. The issue of the revenue split is significantly more significant for the female players in the WNBA than the income itself. WNBA players reportedly receive about 22% of league revenue, compared to 50% in the NBA, according to economics professor Dave Barry's estimates. The vast majority of WNBA players would like to see this disparity disappear. With 50% of shared revenue, WNBA players' salaries would theoretically permit them to avoid spending their times abroad during their off-season. Nevertheless, is the WNBA really capable of letting off 30% of its revenues to their players? In September 2018, the previous WNBA commissioner Lisa Borders stated her thoughts about the share of the revenue for the Seattle Times before Game 1 of the WNBA Finals opposing the Minnesota Mystics and the Seattle Storm. "We do not have the revenue today to support greater revenue sharing with our players, but it's coming. We agree that the players should be paid more." 3. How much the WNBA makes a year? We are unsure because the WNBA itself does not disclose its revenues with the same transparency as the NBA. However, this does not imply that there have never been any projections made, and when considering them, it is quite challenging to view the WNBA as a profitable enterprise. Dave Barry came to the conclusion that the league's revenue for the previous year was around $52 million after doing some investigation. It seems significant until we contrast it with the $9 billion in revenue the NBA brought in last year. Additionally, since the NBA owns around 50% of the WNBA, the latter only contributes less than 1% of the former's earnings. 4. A decreased attendance. The WNBA is the top-ranked North American women's professional league in terms of overall attendance, drawing around 1.5 million spectators in 2017. However, it appears that the average attendance for WNBA games has been dropping over time. It is frequently maintained that the WNBA is more significant than the NBA at the same time, at least in terms of attendance. Actually, I think this conclusion is a little strong. On the one hand, it is true that the average WNBA attendance for the 2017 season was higher at 6,770 than the NBA's 6,749 for the 1971-72 campaign. On the other hand, it's crucial to remember that the trend in the NBA during this time wasn't the same as what was happening in the WNBA. In actuality, by their 22nd seasons, the NBA's attendance trend has been steadily rising, whilst the WNBA's has appeared to be declining from 1998, the year following the league's debut season. That's it for today's video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for future updates.